Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have our friend AntiFunPolice back in a replay that you're going to want to stick around for. I know it's a replay, I don't do these too often, but as the title states, this round is going to get pretty disgusting. And you might be able to garner that from the ship that AntiFun is in. He is in the Super Cruiser the Annapolis. Now, before we get too much further, just want to say that if you were here the last time we featured AntiFun in his 9-kill Ohio loss, yes, loss match after getting 9 kills, you are aware that he is a member of the Scroll Zooming Society. It's how he plays. It's nothing I can do on the replay side of things that can change that. And evidently, it works for the man, again, from the Ohio game and from this game you're about to see here. So I do apologize if that's not your thing. I get it, the rapid zooming in and zooming out is a little disorienting at times, but again, I can't do anything about it. But this match is still, in my opinion, worth the watch, because it does say a lot about super ships and such. Another thing too, when I'm talking about super ships in the journal, of course, title of this video and stuff, I'm not hating on AntiFun or anyone that plays super ships. Those aren't the guys that are putting them in the game. That's the devs, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys here know my position on super ships. I don't like them. I think they're an unnecessary addition to the game. I thought the mode was a cool thing, but just entering them into random battles all willy-nilly isn't a smart move in my mind. But again, I'm not the one that makes those decisions, nor are you, unless you're a dev watching it. Hi, I don't think it's a good idea. But anyway, with that out of the way, here we are with AntiFun. He is scooting up on the C-cap. Oh, and he included his commander build this time, so there that is. He does have Halsey on the Annapolis, if you can't tell by the colored tracers and by his pennant being flown on the staff, and that does come into play later, I assure you. So he opens up on a Musashi. He is, of course, in a tier 10 game. It's a tier 10, 9, and I guess 11 if you include the super ships as tier 11. So he's opening up on a Musashi, who scooted it up a little bit too close too fast. Now, the Annapolis, what is it? It's a stretch Des Moines. That's all it is. Everything about it is just a long Des Moines. It's a Des Moines with another turret and with the alternative firing mode. In simple man's turns, at least, of course. The alternative firing mode is to World Warships what the autoloader is to World of Tanks, essentially, where you can switch to this mode, get a couple of really rapid salvos out of the guns in exchange for a long reload time thereafter. Unlike the Conde, or Conde, depending upon how you want to pronounce it, the Annapolis does not get any additional shell performance boost out of the alternative firing mode, at least from what I can see in port. I don't know why that would be hidden in port, but according to the port, it just increases the reload time. So if you're wondering, on the Conda, it gives these shells, I think, like 20% more pin and 30% less dispersion, something like that. But with the Annapolis, it doesn't do that here. It's just an outright boost to the reload time, which is understandable since the ship does have the American super heavy AP shells, and giving it any additional boost to that would be a little terrifying. So already in the first 4 minutes, in his first what was that, like a minute and change, 2 minutes of firing, dude's got 4 fires, 55,000 damage already at the 4 minute, well, not even at the 4 minute mark, at the 3 minute and change mark. That's a lot of DPM. Des Moines is one of the best ships in the game for its DPM. Well, it used to be the best one back in the day, but of course we've had plenty of HE spammy and rapid loading ships added to the game since then. And when you slap another turret onto a Des Moines, yeah, you send that through the roof. And of course with his build, and what you'll see happen later on, that DPM is just going to do nothing but go up during this match. So he's gone to, well, where most American cruisers or spammy cruisers go at on this map. He is, Schlieffen catches a little nick of him there. He is hugging the big Dorito Island between the C and D caps. This gives him coverage of the C cap with not only his guns, but with his radar as well. And like you guys can see here, he's just got to scoot a little ways up, and boom, he's got the D cap, again, in radar range and also in main battery gun range. So he gets, I think, one more fire out on that Schlieffen, and if you look at his damage, he's already creeping up on 100,000 damage before the 5 minute mark. Yeah, this ship is pretty dumb, pretty disgusting, and we haven't even seen his party trick just yet. Oh, there's another fire on the Schlieffen. So what's going on in the enemy team right now? Well, they're down a DD. Friendly team is down 1 cruiser and 1 DD as well right now. Not much has happened cap-wise. The friendly team is looking like we're about to cap C up. Switches right on over to the Kitakaze like a good cruiser player does. Again, the key to winning games is killing the enemy DDs. If you kill their DDs before they kill your DDs, you're pretty much guaranteed to win. The enemy Edgar, which is the British Super Cruiser, pops his reload booster there with his AP. Just nicks AntiFun, I think, in his upper armor, but nothing too extreme. Oh, and the Minotaur that thought he was going to cap C just got taken out by the enemy Trump, the new Netherlands DD, which is quite good. And look, Witherer. Before the 6-minute mark, AntiFun has Witherer. Before the 6-minute mark. Yeah! Again, ship is a little dumb. So friendly team is down 2 cruisers and a destroyer. Enemy team is only down 1 DD. AntiFun is... Oh, look, another Annapolis is creeping up on right here, by the way. Oh, yeah, and this game's only missing submarines, and we would have had the trifecta of the current fun state of high-tier matchmaking. CVs, super ships, and submarines. So he is missing that. Oh, hello, Edgar. Can't quite get his shells... Oh, maybe he can. Ooh, gets the... Oh, man. Gets the last turret shells over the island. Absolutely scraping the treetops. But hey, look, there's a broadside Schlieffen right there. Ooh, that's a very broadside Schlieffen. And again, with the American AP, aims a little bit lower because those shells hit that upper belt. He should be able to get some good bites out of it. Yeah, you see in the superstructure right now, if he would get just a little bit lower, he would... There we go. See, a couple of shells landed on the upper belt of that Schlieffen and absolutely took a nice chunk out of that Schlieffen. So AntiFun can't push up too much because this is still, again, just a stretch Des Moines. And if you've ever played Des Moines or shot at Des Moines, you know that the thing is absolutely squishy with its broadside. So he can't be too willy-nilly with it. Replay has a nice little bug right there. It's always fun. Schlieffen does manage to get AntiFun spotted, and the secondaries start to open up on it. AntiFun does the smart thing, goes dark, throws it in reverse, and gets back behind this island. Because Schlieffen's secondaries, especially if this guy's running IFHE, which it looks like he is, will absolutely murder the ship. The ship's coated in 32 millimeters of armor or less everywhere. It's actually 30 millimeters or less everywhere. So yeah, you don't want to get caught out in the open with that. So does a smart thing, throws in reverse, gets behind this island, and gets his HE back loaded up. Enemy team's down 4 ships now. A friendly battleship just went down. The enemy team is capping the sea cap. Thankfully, AntiFun's mere presence is deterring them from capping the decap. Because again, look at what this thing's doing. We're almost at the 10-minute mark. Not even at the 10-minute mark yet. And he's at 150,000 damage so far. So yeah, don't want to push into this thing for obvious reasons, unless you've got a lot of support with you. So he does manage to farm the Schlieffen down a little bit more. CV's also helping with that. Ooh, Schlieffen gets a bit better of a bite there. AntiFun goes ahead and pops his heel, and I believe that was the Trump's planes that just got dropped on AntiFun. Those planes bombs are quite rough. Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this! That is disgusting. That was 3 salvos, and I think 2-ish seconds. Absolutely disgusting. But the Maltese Flood manages to tick over before AntiFun shells can finish him off. So anyway, yes, the Trump's planes, if you guys don't know, I have a full review on Trump. The bombs don't hang in the air for the 2 to 3 seconds like the normal Dutch bombs do. They don't have parachutes that deploy right after, so when the Trump drops them on AntiFun, they're already falling down. AntiFun pops his radar, catches the Trump in the radar, and thankfully, again, this is a quite high DPM cruiser. He is a pretty good anti-DD cruiser. Trump does manage to just get out of the radar of the Annapolis, but the Kitakaze is stuck here. Kitakaze is a pretty busted ship in and of itself, but one of her big weaknesses is that she's slow and very large. So yeah, can't exactly get out of radar, but thankfully for the Kitakaze at least, for his sake, he was just on the edge and was able to get out. So AntiFun has quite a few ships to choose from here. He has a low health Annapolis and Edgar, which are just about to get within his range, putting an AP in the tubes for the Edgar, which is broadside to him. puts in that alternative firing mode, then changes his mind at the last second. Because the Annapolis here, it's not like the Conda where you have the reload booster, so you can, use that rapid fire mode, then go ahead and switch back to your reload booster and get your 25-second reload or 40-second reload down to 20 seconds. You have to ride the full 25-second reload here with the Annapolis. So you got to use that autoloader very, very, very sparingly. If you're using it all the time, you're going to be stuck with a battleship reload on cruiser caliber guns, which sucks. So enemy team's got 2 caps. Enemy team's down 4 ships. Friendly team's down 5 ships at this moment. AntiFun is choosing to go toward the middle and try and seal up this gap that we have in the middle. You don't ever want to just give up this much control of the map to the enemy team, because right now the enemy DDs, or the rest of the enemy team for that matter, have complete control of the mid and can cut off the Yamagiri and the GK from the rest of the friendly team. And then that leaves the rest of the team out east, surrounded by the enemy. You can't angle towards the enemy from one direction, because you got to worry about all of their ships on my left, their ships on my right, their ships in front of me. So that would be a very terrible situation to be in. Up there's that Kitakaze again. And let's see. American shells are quite floaty, if you haven't been able to tell. Oh, Trump popped up 10 kilometers away. That's something you definitely want to deal with. Loads up the autoloader. And looks like the Trump here turns in and manages to dodge a good bit of the shells. Didn't hit the brakes right there. Well, you don't really want to hit the brakes on Trump. It is a slow DD. The Malta, the Ruprecht, and AntiFun are all targeting down the Trump. Trump is quite a powerful DD. You have pretty hard-hitting 150 millimeter guns on top of the airstrikes. You do want to get that out of the match as fast as possible. And is he within radar range? Yes, still within radar range. 9 kilometers away, pops the radar, gets the Trump spotted for the rest of the enemy team. And nicks him in the stern there with 1 shell of HE. Kearsarge is coming back over to spot him and get some rockets out on the Trump. And managed to hit him a couple more times. Again, doing the smart thing and holding that reload booster. Because again, right now, especially from this angle too, the Trump could easily switch direction and you can miss with your whole salvo. And now, well, you got a battleship reload on cruiser caliber guns. But his attention gets taken away by the Sevastopol. That is a scary ship to face in a cruiser. Why? That is a cruiser with 15-inch guns with Soviet AP, and they're quite accurate. There's the Trump's torps. So I can understand why AntiFun is focusing on the Sevastopol here. That, and at this range, with how floaty the American HE shells are, well, the American shells are in general, he wouldn't really have a high chance of dealing with the Trump. But with the Sevastopol that stuck bow in, he absolutely does. And here comes the Mega DPM now. So he has just popped Halsey's talent for hitting Confederate. That now means he has a 20% reload buff going on to his guns. On top of the adrenaline rush that he has, his reload time is now sitting around 3.5 seconds on 12 of Des Moines' 203mm guns. And we're at 200,000 damage, ladies and gentlemen, and again, that is absolutely disgusting. Look at all that HE in the air. I think Satsuma popped Damage Con, and he was aware of that, so he popped his reload booster, and now that's a permafire. That's going to burn for the full duration. I'm surprised he actually only got 1 fire with the sheer amount of shells you just threw at him. He's at 14 fires now, by the way. Yeah, the ship's kind of dumb. So he takes a pot shot at Trump out there. Satsuma, both are right on the edge of his range, and of course he gets high caliber. I mean, he's toasting a Satsuma right now quite well. They do have a Malta on their team as well, which is again another disgusting ship. We just have so many fun ships in this match, don't we, guys? And I'm surprised that it's actually this close at this point. AntiFun's team has managed to kind of claw their way back from an assured defeat at this point. AntiFun's on 2 kills, and if you look at the scoreboard, well, the kill board, or the lineup at the top, I actually don't know what that's called. I've been playing this game for 6 years. Anyway, the enemy team's down to 4 ships. Friendly team has 6 ships remaining. Trump gets caught there for a second by the Kearsarge. He is just on the edge of AntiFun's radar range. Actually, no, he's not on just the edge yet. He's pushing to get him on just the edge of his radar range. Trump trying to stay dark. You did notice there, AntiFun managed to reset him just in time to secure the cap. And GK manages to get the blind fire on the Trump and get himself a Trump kill. So now this leaves the Yoshino, the FDG, and the enemy CV, which is a Hakuru, for the rest of the team to deal with. Now, the enemy team does still have 2 caps, and honestly, if they were going up against any other CV besides the Malta, I would say that the enemy team still has a really good chance of pulling it off, because the Hakuru is one of the better CVs in game, and one that's still quite popular, despite being a much older CV, but Malta's just dumb with its carpet AP bombs. So AntiFun sitting here at 234,000 damage, 15 fires, Confederate, high caliber, and Witherer. And the FDG is just getting into range, along with the Yoshino, who's selling back down. Now, the best move for the enemy team would be, of course, to try and cap the A cap, but there's a GK sitting there, and, well, AntiFun in his Annapolis. Now, AntiFun is out of hills at this point, and again, he is in Annapolis, which has the same armor scheme as a Des Moines, which is quite squishy. But again, look at this. Oh my god, it's oh, that is, again, disgusting. I'm surprised he didn't set more fires on that FDG. He's at 16 fires now, but look at this, boys and girls. Broadside Yoshino, 13 kilometers away, sailing in a pretty straight line. Gets a couple of rounds of HE off on him. Swaps it over to AP. And I think you can guess what's coming next here. Yep. This also works with AP, of course. And, well, a broadside Yoshi from 10 kilometers. There you go. 276,000 damage. In fact, AntiFun is on the verge of breaking his personal damage record. The man has 500 shell hits at this point, which leaves just the Hakuru, who, fortunately for AntiFun, is pushing up to the island in between the A and B caps, which means that no one but AntiFun is going to have access to the Hakuru. And sure enough, despite the Hakuru's best efforts, AntiFun does take him down. So AntiFun finishes this match with a grand total of 336,000 damage done, and in a super ship, he earned 1.5 million credits, which means that he actually made a fair amount of money in this game. How much money? 1.1 million credits in a super ship. That is something. If you're wondering too, the man I think we can round up. The dude had a 4,000 base XP game. If you want to be a stickler, he's 11 XP away from a 4,000 base XP game. Yeah, ship's kind of dumb. Kind of disgusting too, isn't it? Good God. The absolute state of super ships. Now, again, I'm not hating on AntiFun. It was a great match. He made a lot of good calls in that match. Obviously, you can't put someone that has no idea what they're doing in one of these ships and get results like this. You still have to be a pretty darn good player to get these results. So, AntiFun, excellent game, my guy. Really showing us the might and power of these super ships. He also got Dreadnought too, by the way, at the end of the match, because he did survive after using up all of his heals, and obviously he's tanking 120% of his ship's HP. So, yeah. Super ships, God, don't we love them. So guys, this was an entertaining game, and just, again, an absolutely disgusting ship here with the Annapolis, along with the other super ships. Again, not hating on any fun or anything. Again, you guys know, I'm no fan of super ships. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. I will be live streaming right here tonight on the channel from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time, so make sure to come out for that. Again, thank you, AntiFun, for sending this in. It was a great match, and good plays, my dude. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.